Hey, Crustacean Nation, welcome back to Lobster Tales on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Hey, Crustacean Nation, welcome back to Lobster Tales on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. It's the go-to way for you fans to learn more about your favorite players, as always.
Meeting the team behind the bench, team physician is Dr. Graff from
Sorry for the technical issues during our open, folks. We should be going now. It's time to zoom into our Akins Ford engine starters. Back in between the pipes for head coach Steve Martinson will be William Lavalier. A defensive pair of Troy Murray and Riley Robertson will be behind Andrew Stafora, Avery Smith, and Carter Shinkarik. The team physician is Dr. Alec Graff, provided by Piedmont Athens Regional. The Akins Ford engine starters are brought to you by Akins Ford, Georgia's biggest and best Ford dealership. The Rock Lobsters trying to claw their way into a Game 3. It's do or die here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Rock Lobsters, River Dragons next. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us here tonight in what is the first ever home playoff game for the Athens Rock Lobsters. Trying to erase their memories of Wednesday night's 7-4 loss. This is still a series that they have the advantage in when you look back to the regular season. The Rock Lobsters currently 7-6 against the River Dragons if you take into account regular season games. Sounds like the fans are up for it here, but possession goes first to the River Dragons out of the face-off. Here on the left side, Andrew Stafora, who scored his first pro playoff goal in Wednesday night's game. Good pressure here from the Rock Lobsters. Early centering feed. Shinkarik trying to bat at it. Stafora trying to bat out of it out of midair. Helped into the neutral zone by Columbus. Rock Lobsters with a good start to this game. Hopefully they can keep this pace up as the first period is still in its beginning stages. Columbus wins it back through McDonald, but Hunter took an early step, and we have an offsides whistle. Columbus with a 1-0 lead in this series. Columbus may have not had the regular season that they had last year, where they were FPHL regular season champions before falling to Carolina in the Commissioner's Cup semifinals. However, this is a team with a lot of playoff experience, and that's something that this Rock Lobster team has to consider. You've got to be game. Shinkarik staying on the ice here. Doherty almost took it with him out of the faceoff. Papapetros over the office behind Lavalier. Backhand flip, gets it right back from Smith. Papapetros enters on the right side, stings the palms of Babin.
Smith tries to test Babin from a long distance. The two former Motor City Rockers going up against one another. No look pass from Balkwell behind the net. Underwood up the right side. Doherty gets intercepted. Milan sticks it into the zone. Babin into the trapezoid to play it. Glukarioff there first. That one into the crease. Glukarioff trying to skate away with it in the far corner. Robertson stops it at the line. Lind was to the right of the net. He got a piece of it. Milan with a hit. Glukarioff one-times it over the bar and into the netting. Really good pace of play here from the Rock Lobsters to start this game, and that's exactly what they need. They had a good pace to the start of the game on Wednesday night, but by the halfway point of the period, they found themselves down 3-0. Offensive zone face-off. Columbus able to cast a spell on that puck, but not for long. Michael Greco forces the turnover at center ice. Murray, who'll be paired with Greco. Weisblatt slaps at it, tries to get it loose. Glukarioff intercepts it on the Rock Lobster at the center of the ice. And another shot saved by Babin. Solar plexus saved by Babin, who has some experience in the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. 31 saves on 35 shots in the 7-4 win on Wednesday night. It was his third ever Commissioner's Cup playoff win. Johnson, Virgili, and Gallant. A line that stays together from Wednesday night. Robertson trying to bat at it to keep it in, but Storjahan with a right circle shot, looking for that top shelf, didn't miss by much. Brody Thornton, an acquisition from the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Great play there from Gallant to win the puck back and then send Johnson on his way. Johnson tried to take it to the net himself. He was stopped by the rookie Hatcher. Hatcher will collect it off the penalty box boards, takes a big hit in from behind from Johnson, but stays on his feet. Athens trying to collect some momentum from behind their own net. Robertson leaves it for Papa Petros. Gets it right back to Big Red. Pass just missed Garrett Milan, but it did find Glukarioff. Glukarioff to Milan. Milan hard to the net. Pushed away by Babin. And we've got a whistle here. Looks like we've got a hooking call. And the Rock Lobsters will be going to the quadruple P. Still no shots on goal for the River Dragons in this game. And the youngster Loic Plouffe into the sin bin. 2 minutes for hooking. The Rock Lobsters found it difficult to get their power play going Wednesday night in Columbus. The only power play goal they scored came when they had a man up and then emptied the net. Kayson Gallant with a shot that got tipped by Philip Virgili past Babin. 5-man unit here. Milan, Gallant, Shinkarik, Virgili, and Glukarioff. Underwood, River Dragons captain, to Storjahan. Able to get it through Virgili at the half wall. Lavalier will collect. Shinkarik looking for a cycle in his own ice. Milan working out in front of both benches. Glukarioff, left circle, what a goal! After that 7-4 loss on Wednesday night, the Rock Lobsters would have felt like they needed to strike first, and it's the Russian who struck twice on Wednesday, strikes again tonight. Oh, baby, isn't that exactly what the doctor ordered from Daniil Glukarioff, who goes bar down on Babin to give Athens the 1-0 lead, and it comes on the power play, showing that the struggles from Wednesday night have not continued into the weekend. And with that goal, Danil Glukaryov has earned free churros at Paloma Park for 24 hours. Through the fan save, Zap Babin with a miscue. Gallant almost pounced on it. Lofted through the neutral ice. Kolatarsi will chase. Gets knotted up with Hunter. Goes hard into the boards. Great centering feed. Good passing all around as Sleheka tried to set up a goal to immediately answer Glukaryov's power play effort. Kyle Moore, he's been the danger man as of recent times for the River Dragons. 4 goals in his last 3 games against Athens. Connor Lind, he scored in the regular season finale in just 22 seconds into the game. Athens doing a great job thus far at protecting the center of the ice. A lot of takeaways for Athens against Columbus in that part of the rink right now. Smith helps it to Shinkarik. Unable to gather it. Smacks at it out of frustration to Stafora, who was right at the middle of the end boards. Both teams really laying the bodies here early. Storjahan to Hatcher, back to Storjahan. Columbus still looking for their first shot on goal of this game. Not going to happen yet. The rookie, Stafora, pad save from Babin. Milan, one-timer on the far side from Stafora. Babin, besides the 1 goal he's let up, has had a great start to this game. Murray sends it into the danger area, taken away by Doherty. Weisblatt wins it back off of him. Glukaryov was looking for Milan. Greco plays it out of the middle of the air. Doherty helps it back in. 7-0 the shots on goal. Milan in front of Lavaliere's net, trying to send Athens on their way. Miscue from Weisblatt. Somero off the skate and with the stick sends it back behind Lavaliere's net. Here's Weisblatt again. Gets his stick lifted and puck taken away from him by Jemayev. 2 teams that know each other quite well. Virgili gets his stick lifted by Plouffe. Loic Plouffe still playing his first few games of professional hockey, but he's been someone out of all of the prospect signings for the River Dragons, the one that has impressed me the most. Kayson Gallant, with his family in town tonight, was able to meet his mother and sister before the game. They surprised him in Columbus. Is he going to surprise them with a highlight reel goal? Got himself to the slot. Backhand shot saved by Babin. Oja through the legs to Kolatarsi. Gallant plays it with the skate. Unable to direct it towards Virgili, but Kyle Moore helps out the Rock Lobsters. Virgili looking for a tip out in front. Pass from the near wall to the far side. Kolatarsi around the boards. This is much more like the Rock Lobsters team we've seen at the peaks of the regular season. We're seeing it here tonight in the playoffs. Seven minutes in, shots on goal, 8-0. Scoreline 1-0 after the Danil Glukaryov power play goal. Babin lets it run for the icing. We go to our first commercial break here. The Rock Lobsters lead 1-0. They got the start that they didn't get on Wednesday night. Can they ride that energy for the rest of regulation? Stick tuned here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network and find out.
At Athens Don Hill oversees acres of sculptures poured from thousands of molds. Endless possibilities for neighbors who envision unique gardens. Craig Meeks at First American Bank and Trust caught that vision. Together, Don and Craig create solutions that keep the business teeming with new gifts for the garden. Vision. It's one of the core convictions we live by. Learn more about what we stand for at firstamericanishere.com. First American Bank and Trust.
Rock Lobster fans, this is Brad Akins. Akins Ford has led the way for years and keeps on growing. From offering the Southeast's largest inventory to being #1 in the nation in Ford truck sales, we're here to serve you. Want to customize your ride? Our Wild Willie's accessories team can make it as unique as you are. Make it legendary. Need service? Our fleet of over a dozen mobile service vans come right to you. Akins Ford and Winder. We really are closer and bigger than you think. Rock Lobsters, let's go.
Athens with a 1-0 lead here after the power play goal from Daniil Glukaryov. In the early going of the playoffs, he's been the most consistent point for Athens. 3 minutes and 11 seconds in, he was able to take the lead here. First lead for Athens in this series. Shinkarik with a clean draw. Garrett Milan and Carter Shinkarik, the veteran leaders for this Athens Rock Lobster team, with the assists on Glukaryov's power play tally. Papapetros pokes it, but only as far as Lind. Up the right side. Bad pass. Weisblatt tries to find Milan. Milan took it away from Moore. Weisblatt sprawls, trying to stop the playmake from McDonald. Lind tiptoes into the neutral ice, finds Bersani at the opposing blue line. Good centering pass toward Jamea from Bersani, but still no shot on goal here for the River Dragons. Great centering pass, Glukaryov, Weisblatt trying to stuff it in. 3 bites at the cherry for the Rock Lobsters. Kolatarsi off the skate of Weisblatt. There to sweep it away was Bersani in the slot. Weisblatt from the left side hash marks. Down to his knees. Milan in the offense, centering feed. Glukaryov looking for a second. Stopped by the traffic out in front. That one's hard into the crowd after Underwood tried to dump in, took a piece of Kolatarsi's stick and into the stands. Both teams making changes before the next face-off. Still waiting for the shot on goal meter to update here, but it is now 12-0 in favor of the hosts. And we're still seeing fans walk down from the concourse as this crowd here in the tank continues to grow. Shinkarik slaps away at it, picked back up by Slahetka. Plouffe, right side of the defensive zone. Up the rink for Wickline. Wickline has also been one of the most consistent River Dragons as of late. Hatcher, good play of keep away there. Took a hit for his efforts in front of the Rock Lobster bench. Just wide from Storjahan. We'll see if that counts as a shot on goal. Plouffe from the line. Poke check from Michael Greco. The River Dragons still struggling to generate a shot here, and it looks like that was given a shot on goal. It looks like we'll have another here as well, as Lavalier with the save and freeze. A 3-0 lead on the River Dragons home ice for Columbus on Wednesday night. The Rock Lobsters are hoping for the same type of comfort here on Friday. Rock Lobsters currently 7-6 all time against Columbus. Milan, Glukaryov, and Weisblatt back on the ice here. Rock Lobsters have generated much better chances 5-on-5 than they did Wednesday night, but it's the power play goal that's the difference maker right now, courtesy of Daniil Glukaryov. Weisblatt there on the dot. Officials not happy with the way the faceoff was taken. We'll do it again. Glukarioff gets to there first. Lind tries to kick it in. Glukarioff almost found Weisblatt. Dribbles over to Milan on the left side. Sends it around the wall. Weisblatt there to meet it. Kolatarsi dumped back into the near corner. Lind collects. River Dragons misplay out of their own zone, but Milan gives it back to Lind. Poked off the defenseman by Garrett. Lavalier stops it in the trap. Let's go Lobsters, starting to emerge here over Akins Ford Arena. Give and go between Glukarioff and Milan doesn't go to plan. Storjahan. Moore. Kayson Gallant gets to it on the offensive blue line. Papa Petros stops that puck from reaching his side of the ice. Gallant. Doherty was winding up for the big hit there, but saw that the puck left Gallant's stick, and Doherty thought better of it. Good move there from the 6'5" big man. There's another shot on net for the River Dragons, one that Lavalier was able to watch the whole way. We're going back to a commercial break here. The Rock Lobsters are holding on to their 1-0 lead. They're going to hope that they can extend that lead here in the first period. Suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing.
You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Daniil Glukarioff was someone that I talked with head coach Steve Martinson about early in the year, about his struggles to try and adapt to the North American game. It seems like those struggles are in the distant past now for the Russian. Had 21 goals in the regular season and now 3 playoff goals in 2 consecutive nights. William Lavalier also looking much more comfortable out there, but he has a lot of reason to be. Someone who was maybe hung out to dry a little bit in those opening 3 goals before getting the hook after the first period. He's had only 2 saves to make through the opening 10.5 minutes. Face-off, however, is going to happen to his right. Good eye here by head coach Steve Martinson. We've seen some issue with Loic Plouffe being on the ice. Plouffe gets removed for Underwood. Papa Petros. Rock Lobsters doing well on the faceoffs here. Doherty with a clean play through the skates of Papa Petros. Still Athens dealing with the pressure well from Columbus. Over Geely, gliding through. Backhander, pad saved by Babin. We were talking about the faceoffs as Gallant's centering feed from behind the net narrowly misses Virgili. The Rock Lobsters faceoff was something that they got right on Wednesday night as McDonald misses wide. Won 65% of their draws. Plouffe with a misplay. Johnson gets taken down on the trip. And after opening up the score on the power play, they're going right back to the man advantage. Oh, it looks like it's going against Malik Johnson. So it must be a simulation call going against the Rock Lobsters winger. And it looks like it'll be a 4-on-4 as Doherty will join them in there. So simultaneous simulation and tripping calls going against the two teams. Believe we're going to go 4-on-4 here. A big, big round of applause starting to be generated here at Akins Ford Arena as they give their plaudits to head coach Steve Martinson. Martinson today just receiving the FPHL Coach of the Year award in his first season. Four-on-four here. The 4-on-4 was something that generated a ton of chaos in Wednesday night's game. One 4-on-4 in which both teams scored. The River Dragons trying to do so themselves. Underwood with a tremendous move towards the crease. Lavalier with two simultaneous saves. Underwood with Lavalier sprawling around the welcome mat is unable to get a shot off. Heads back to the bench in frustration. Ooh, a wipeout there from Sturgeon at center ice. Milan trying to be the beneficiary. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful move as Milan pirouettes away. Then takes a swat in from behind by Babin. Lind trying to find the edge in front of Lavalier, trying to flip it out in front, poked away by Papa Petros. And then Lind gives it right to Glukaryov. Virgili on the near side. Shot whistled over the bar. Two tremendous saves there from Lavalier. That'll definitely build the confidence. Early step from McDonald after it was poked away from him, and then Kyle Moore takes it over for the offsides. Just about 7 minutes to go here in this opening period. Thus far, the opening 20 minutes has benefited the team on home ice in the first two games of this series. The River Dragons were able to ride that wave to a win. Let's see if the Rock Lobsters can do that tonight to send this series to a Game 3 tomorrow. Kolatarsi playing a coy game from behind the Rock Lobsters net. Orca Weisblatt, the killer whale. Shinkarik tried the beautiful attempt there between the legs, but it just didn't come off. Oja. No looker to Weisblatt. Weisblatt avoids Doherty, finds Shinkarik on the far side of the ice. Shinkarik trying to ask questions there of Babin, but it's an easy save for the veteran goaltender. Trevor Babin, 30 years old, out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A little bit of a collection here right in front of the official. Weisblatt, Slahetka, Shinkarik, and more. Scoreline stays 1-0. And I was told something interesting by a good source here at Akins Ford Arena that apparently the Columbus River Dragons emptied their hotel rooms tonight. All of the bags are on the bus. They've created some expectation for themselves that they will win tonight. Not going to plan just yet, but still a lot of hockey to be played here at Akins Ford Arena. The Rock Lobsters will hope that Columbus in that regard have flown too close to the sun and that their hubris will get the better of them. Shinkarik back to Murray. Rifle of a shot, hard off the end boards. Somero gets edged out by Smith, but Shinkarik can only collect in the neutral ice. Shinkarik. Shot at the line. Greco catches Babin up high. Nice one-timer there from the former River Dragon. Greco getting frustrated at Hatcher, the youngster, getting in the face of Shinkarik. There's some tough men on the ice right now for the Rock Lobsters. Smith, Murray, and Greco. It was a rough and tumble game on a Wednesday night. I believe the only fight we got was Lind and Johnson. Referee is able to control the situation for now. Less than 6 minutes to go here in the first period, and luckily this game hasn't gotten too ugly. Shots on goal now 15-5. I believe it took at least 7 minutes of regulation for the River Dragons to even get their first shot on goal. Milan flips it off the half wall in front of the River Dragons bench. McDonald, not sure if he tried to sell some contact there from Milan. Milan breezes through Thornton, but Lind is there to try and mop up the mess. Weisblatt gets it away into the circle, taken away by Thornton. Glukarioff chases him all the way to the near side glass. Oja trying to put it in the pressure maker. Off the glass and away, as the Rock Lobsters will have to fetch that puck in their own ice. Joe Colatarsi to the right. Weisblatt. Pass went underneath the stick of Glukarioff. There was some distance there between the Russian and Lind with the slip had to try and get back up to his feet. Did so with enough time to make sure that Glukarioff couldn't take the puck away from his prone body. Moore lets it run, collects it back off the boards. Backhand shot from McDonald, someone who's a former 60 goal scorer in this league. Goal scoring generation was down this year from McDonald, but was a big playmaker once again with 34 assists. McDonald started the year injured, heard that it took some time for him to get back up to 100%. Another mistake passing out of their own zone from the River Dragons. Plouffe takes his eye off the puck. Kayson Gallant with a Red Deer ripper that's saved by Babin. Johnson trying to lift the stick of Hatcher. Gives enough time for Papa Petros to make the defensive poke check. Wickline with a dump in. Was in front of the red line. 4 minutes to go here in the first 20. Johnson passes around Plouffe. Shinkarik looking out in the ice behind him as he passes out from the corner. Kyle Russell, first time we've said his name tonight. Potentially getting deployed here as the 7D. Kyle Russell, good defensive play there. Malik Johnson just eases it in. Past the goal line behind Babin. Smith chases it the whole way. Hit in behind on Bockwell. Shinkarik got a touch to it. Couldn't direct it towards Stafora. Stafora having recently taken his test to be a police officer. Wonder if that's at his native, in his native Boston, Massachusetts. Milan able to stay on his feet. Has the puck back. Trying to toe drag it between the skates of Bockwell. Was unable to complete the move. Takes a long, hard look at the official. Adamosia looking for the right route to emerge here out in front of him. Has it in the trapezoid behind Lavalier. Next cycle comes around. Opts for his defensive partner in Kola Tarsi. Kola tries to cut the ice with a pass toward Glukarioff, taken away from the former Zydeco. Thornton at the near boards. Glukarioff with an interception. Milan. Weisblatt, a lot of speed on this money line for the Rock Lobsters. Weisblatt, Glukarioff was looking for the extra pass, just about missed it toward Milan. Last 2 minutes of play here. Hunter with a great move, kind of came out of nowhere to that puck. Not sure Oja saw him on the other side of him. This might be one of the top shot on goal tallies through a period we've seen from the Rock Lobsters this season. 15 for Athens. One of them has tickled the twine past Babin. That was the Glukarioff power play goal. Storjahan gets there first after the Rock Lobster dump in. Robertson tries to lay the big hip check at Wickline in front of his own bench. Papa Petros takes a tumble, but the Rock Lobsters come away with it. Almost a miscommunication there between Gallant and Malik Johnson. Let's see if they can get this play right. Johnson with a shot missing wide. As we reach the final minute of play here at Akins Ford Arena, a lot of this period has been played by the River Dragons, just trying to stomp out the fire of Athens. Given the scoreline being just 1-0, they've done a pretty good job of doing that thus far. Papa Petros lofts it high into the neutral ice. Played by the glove of Balkwill. Stopped by Lavalier behind his net. Robertson will take his place. Up the boards on the left side, Malik Johnson. Switches sides, Shinkarik only able to get a skate on it. Good stop there by Doherty, making sure that that one didn't travel the length of the ice. Slight bobble there from Lavalier. Gets over the shoulder of Underwood. Bockwell with a pass from his own slot to in front of his bench from Jemayev. Hard off the glass from Bersani, and the Rock Lobsters will enter the first intermission up 1-0. After the power play did not go to plan for the Rock Lobsters in Game 1 on Wednesday night, they proved that they can beat Columbus on the man advantage. Daniil Glukarioff with a beautiful shot that went bar down on Trevor Babin 3 minutes and 11 seconds into this game. Assists from the two veterans, Garrett Milan and Carter Shinkarik. As we take a quick look around the rest of the playoffs right now, the Danbury Hat-Tricks with a 1-0 lead against the Port Huron Prowlers. Binghamton Black Bears and the Watertown Wolves currently tied at 0-0. And the Carolina Thunderbirds, the top spot in the Continental Division, with a 1-0 lead against the play-in team, the Blue Ridge Bobcats. A little bit of a rivalry there on the other side of the Continental as well. William Lavalier looking a lot more confident through the first 20 minutes than he did after the first period on Wednesday night. Hopefully that's an upward trend for the French-Canadian that's in between the pipes tonight for the Rock Lobsters. In other news for Athens, head coach Steve Martinson, in his first year in this league, was able to win today the FPHL Coach of the Year. It was one of our topics of discussion in today's Coach's Corner.
Hello, Crustacean Nation. Welcome back to another edition of Coach's Corner on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. It gives fans like you an inside look to the games and goings-on for the team. I'm Mateen Rad, joined as always by head coach Steve Martinson, who today added the title of FPHL Coach of the Year to his already extensive resume. Coach, like they do at the Oscars, they give the recipient the chance to thank those who helped it to happen. Is there anybody you'd like to thank today?
Well, obviously the main thing is the players. You don't get awards, you don't get individual awards without a great team, and it's really just a byproduct of having a really good team and an easy team to coach. And take out the last game, but it's normally an easy team to coach. And it's been a lot of fun coming to the rink this year. It's one of my most enjoyable years of coaching. And really, it's because you got a bunch of players that are fun to work with.
When you reflect on what this team has accomplished in such a short time, is there a single moment or is there an achievement in general that means the most to you?
No, I never really think about that kind of stuff. Really just thinking about the next game and what you got to do to win. So, if I reflect back on I talk about the old Detroit Red Wings and Mike Babcock, got the richest coaching contract from Toronto, and it was built on the backs of, Lidstrom and Datsyuk and Zetterberg and, some of the best all around players, Yzerman, and they make it look really easy to coach. And that's similar to my team. It makes it a lot easier to coach when your team and your leaders lead by example and play hard and play the game right.
You seemed a clear choice for this award from the beginning when you first entered this league, in large part because of the large amount of high-level experience you brought to the table. But is it the tactical side? Is it the motivational side? Is there a strength of yours that you feel sticks out from other people?
Well, I'm a pretty good recruiter. And, like I said, it all comes down to the team. You can be the best coach in the world if you don't have good players, it doesn't matter. So when you're coaching at single A or double A or whatever, if you're not in the American League or the NHL, your coaching completely depends on the team you put together. And like I said, we've got a really good team and really entertaining team and a fun team to coach and a fun team to watch.
The culture was something that was cited in today's release, that the culture that you've built as a key factor in winning this award. But what does that word culture mean to you, and how did you establish it so quickly here in Athens?
Well, I mean, the culture is really from the locker room, and it isn't me, it's the players, and that comes back to getting the right players. And one of the things that we talked about in the summertime when I was talking to players is having the culture that, you got to work hard, you got to be a team guy, you got to be in shape, and you got to finish your checks. And that's kind of my motto about, the type of team that I like to have. And so the culture comes from the players. And yeah, we've got a great culture, but that's from having the right people in the locker room and the right leadership positions.
You've coached over 1,000 pro wins, more than any other U.S. born coach in pro hockey. But what made this season with this group feel unique or special?
Well, when I came from Allen at that point, we weren't really treating the players well. We weren't getting skates and sticks, and it was really frustrating. And when we came here, the first thing they said, and when I was hired by Spire, is that we would treat the players like pros. And to me, that was I knew the way they ran the organization in Kansas City, and they don't own that team, but the people that that are here came from that original group, and so that was a big reason that I wanted to come and have fun coaching again. And, we got really nice apartments for the players and we treat them like pros. And in turn, they build that culture in the locker room and, that they know that we care and we want to win. And you can't ask players to go through the wall if you're not doing it for them. If you're cutting corners and not treat them like pros, you can't expect them to say, okay. And we grew a motto back in Allen that we were playing for each other. Players are playing for each other. And we got that because, it was really them. And we still do that here, that they're playing for each other. But they also have an organization behind them that, that wants to win and wants to give them the best opportunity to bring their best foot forward.
You've helped and been an integral part in Athens turning into a hockey town. Did you sense this kind of response from the community coming in, or has it even, exceeded your expectations?
Well, you never know. I mean, because I'm not on the ticket selling side, but I'm on the entertainment side. And when I talk to ownership or the people that are hiring me, one of the things I say is, we're going to win and we're going to play offensive and we're going to play physical, and that's what sells tickets. I know that the fans I think really responded, and it's the team. I mean, the team brings it out. They're fun to watch, and we play a skill game and we play a physical game, and that's the way hockey's meant to be played. And when you play that way, that's one of the reasons that a lot of people choose hockey, that from other sports. It's fun to play and it's fun to watch. When you're especially in this rink, every place is a good seat, and it's entertaining to watch, and we've got an entertaining team.
You mentioned in today's release you credited your players and leadership group. I know you've already touched on it a little bit, and we've seen what they've done at the on ice level. But is there or are there small things that your leadership have done behind the scenes that fans might not see, but made all the difference this season?
Well, I think they're really good in the community, and they're good guys. So you can, I always say good guys refer good guys, and bad guys refer bad guys. And we have a lot of good guys that came in early and they referred other good guys, and, word of mouth. And that's, if anybody that's in the sales business, you're always looking for referrals. And so that's, quality guys. We signed some quality guys early and they brought in other guys, but I think that's the number one thing that I'm proud of, is a good group of guys, and the guys that, like I said, they're fun to coach and they're fun to watch play.
One of the rules in the FPHL's voting is that you can't vote for yourself. Out of my own curiosity, who was your vote for Coach of the Year?
I voted for Harrison. I thought, I mean, there's a lot of good coaches, and certainly, Binghamton, they ran away with the North, but you look at guys that got traded from the North to our division, and they weren't anywhere near the same scoring per game that they were in the North. So I thought Harrison did a great job with the team that he has, and we've got to pick it up and so that we can play him next week, and that's what we need to talk about now.
Exactly. Another big congratulations to you, Coach. But now we turn our attention to the task at hand. The Rock Lobsters go back into Akins Ford Arena tonight for their first ever home playoff game after falling in Game 1 in Columbus. Columbus jumped out 3-0 early in that contest. From your perspective, what was the root of that slow start, and how do you get your group out of the gates quicker in Game 2?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every goal we just handed them. We handed them the first two that, all alone in front, and one of their best scores, was able to come in all alone one-timer and just unobstructed in front of the net. And we just got to get back to playing one-on-one hockey, and not beat ourselves. And we know that. We know we had guys trying to do too much, and we just need our defensive players to concentrate on playing defense, and we got plenty of offense in the lineup, and just not beat ourselves. So it's typical of playoffs, especially, we have a team that's never played together in the playoffs. And, I've been preaching about it, but sometimes you got to learn by experience. And, we just have to play up to our ability. Nobody has to play above their station. We don't need 15 guys trying to score a goal. We just need to concentrate on defense when it's in our zone, and play offense when it's in their zone. So, we addressed, the defensive lapses, and the good thing, we took 79 shots. We only hit the net 40 times, but that's our team. We missed the net typically 25 times a game. We won 65% of the face-offs. We out hit them almost 2-1. So, we just got to stop serving up the kind of scoring chances that we served up. We left our goalies, out to dry really on every scoring chance. So, we just got to play one-on-one defensively, and we do that, we're going to be off to the races.
You closed the first with that Glukarioff goal. You cut the lead again later to make it 6-4. But it seemed like each time Columbus was able to answer, at least mitigate the momentum from fully rolling into your favor. What went wrong for us in that regard, and what went right for them?
Well, what went wrong defensively is, like I said, we handed them scoring chances in front of the net, and and breakaways that we just handed them. I mean, it wasn't because they were out playing us or out skating us. It's like, here's a scoring chance. Hope our goalie saves it. So, and again, our power play, we make some bad decisions, and it's frustrating when there's things that we want to do, and when they're there, we don't do them. So we got to get our power play, scoring more than just a 5-on-3 goal, and we do that, and we defend. And all we have to do is defend one-on-one. Anybody that watches the game, and, like I said, 79 shots we took, and 20 hits and 65% on the faceoffs. We did everything offensively. We scored 4 goals. We did everything we need to do to win the game. We just didn't defend, and we handed them the easy scoring chances. And I don't think we're going to do that again tonight. Like I said, we've got guys now that I think they understand, and you just have to play one-on-one defense. And if we do that, we'll be tough to beat no matter who we play.
You made a change in goaltender after the first period, and I think as you kind of were answering there, it wasn't really any goaltender's fault in that game. What goes into that? Are you just saying, hey, I want to make sure that I protect this guy, that he feels like he's not being hung out to dry by me out there? What goes into that decision after the first period?
Yeah, so we gave up 3 goals on 4 shots, but 2 of them were almost hard to defend, and the other one was a breakaway. So, I'm just gonna leave it at that, and because that's not something I'm gonna share, what's going on with that. Maybe after everything is said and done, I'll talk about it. But yeah, I'm not gonna leave the decision. I'm not gonna disclose everything that goes on behind that decision.
Well, let's talk about Andrew Stafford then. He picked a great time for his first ever pro playoff goal. It really seemed like a play that he just didn't give up on. What did you see in his game that earned him that moment?
Well, Andrew's a goal scorer. I mean, he was a goal scorer in college and he was the top scorer from his college team. So, we know that he's going to score, and that line scored a couple of goals, and we're going to get the matchups at home now. We're on the road, and we don't get the matchups, that we want 100% of the time. So, that line will play against a different line tonight, and we got to take advantage of other things. But Andrew's a good player, and yeah, we need him contributing offensively and defensively, just like everybody else in the lineup.
The roll of the dice emptying the net in the second period on the power play paid off, but it's not something I've ever seen before. Obviously, you felt like it was a spot that you needed a goal, but what else, if anything, went into that decision?
Well, it's 6-2. I mean, we need to get some goals, and what's the difference if they get an empty net goal? It's 7-2. So, we ended up getting a goal, and I thought we started to get momentum, and we had some opportunities, and I thought we weren't as good in the third period, but it gave us a chance to get back, and we're trying to win the game. It's not, who cares about the goals against? So, yeah, we're just trying to get back in the game, and it got us jump started a little bit, but then we got penalty problem in the third period, and maybe didn't take advantage of our opportunities.
That kind of leads me into my next question. There was a lot of intensity in this game, probably even more than you would expect out of a playoff game. How do you kind of walk that line between the emotions that playoff hockey brings and discipline as this rivalry continues to heat up?
Yeah, well, we talk about that. I mean, the stuff in between the whistles, they got the talking and pushing. I mean, it doesn't do anything, and we really don't want to get involved with that. We just want to play and be physical, and it's frustrating. Like Workers hit, just a clean hit, just a clean hard hit that we get called a penalty, and I'm some of that's frustrating, and we just want to play a hard physical game, and the talking is really it's just, I don't like it at all. So, we just want to play hard and physical and finish our checks, and hope the referees see that when it's a hard, clean check, that's a legal play in pro hockey.
It was right in front of the bench, so I don't know how good of a view that you would have gotten of it, but that tumble that Malik takes in front of the bench.
I saw it.
And
it's not good, it's the same play. It's the same guy that stuck his leg out, that it's the same guy that stuck his leg out against Garrett in the last game before that, on the Friday night game. So now, you give a guy benefit of the doubt when he's cutting back, but he stuck his leg out, and it's a dirty play. And, at some point he's going to have to pay the fiddler with Malik.
Coach, you've coached in a ton of playoff games. After dropping game 1 in a short series, what's the biggest message to your team before the puck drops in game 2?
Well, we went through all the negative stuff yesterday, and before the game tonight, I'm going to show all the scoring chances we have. We scored 4 goals. We scored enough goals to win any playoff game in a typical, game for us. And again, we got to defend, just a one-on-one defending. I mean, like I said, we know that they didn't beat us because we were just overwhelmed. We just handed them the scoring chances. So, and we had a lot more chances that we didn't put in the net. So, the number one factor is don't beat yourself. We've got all the offense, and you have to win 2 games to win a playoff series. So we just got to win. We always had to win 2, and obviously we got to win tonight, and then it's the momentum back on our side.
How do you coach, especially in a series like this? How do you coach urgency without letting it turn into panic in a series where there is no room for error?
Well, that's what we talk about. The good thing is we've been a top team all year. We know, and like I said, going back to that game, we know that they didn't outplay us, and the players saw all these easy scoring chances that we gave them. nobody feels like we've been overwhelmed. We just know that we beat ourselves. So everybody knows that the message is clear. Don't beat yourself, and we're going to be off to the races.
With the complexities of that thought of beating yourself, without giving away too much, do you anticipate any tactical or personnel changes heading into tonight's game?
Yeah, we've got a couple of minor changes, but really, I mean, it was just video and guys that were capable of, we left the front of the net twice. We walked away from the front of the net twice on goals when there was no reason to do it. One of them, we passed the puck right to their guy. Our positioning on the breakaways on the shorthanded goal, we're cheating off the face-off, and there's just no reason to do that. So we've addressed that, and like I said, I can't be any clearer. We handed them the scoring chances, and we know that. And if we don't do that, we make them have to work for their goals, it'll be a completely different game.
Last question for me, Coach. Tonight is on our ice at Akins Ford Arena. What does a raucous Crustacean Nation do for your group in a do-or-die scenario?
Well, the players hear the feed, they hear the fans. So obviously we got to be loud and make sure we get showing up and support the team.
All right, Coach, I'll see you tonight. Hopefully the Rock Lobsters can extend this series to 3 games to try and get a spot into the Commissioner's Cup semifinals.
Welcome back here to Akins Ford Arena. Some really good insight there from the newly named FPHL Coach of the Year, Steve Martinson. He'll hope that the second verse is the same as the first. The Rock Lobsters with a 1-0 lead after the power play goal from Daniil Glukaryov, who went bar down on Trevor Babin 3 minutes and 31 seconds into this game. William Lavalier looking a lot better tonight as well, looking more confident in his play through the first 20 minutes. The Rock Lobsters with plenty of more opportunities than the River Dragons in the first 20 minutes. Well, the Rock Lobsters rue having not finding themselves up by more goals at the start of this second period. You can see that hefty difference in the shot on goals number. 15 for the Rock Lobsters, 6 for Columbus. I believe Columbus was held shotless through the first at least 8 minutes of the game. 20 minutes put back on the clock here at the start of this middle frame. Papa Petros, Robertson, Virgili, Gallant, Malik Johnson, the 5 that start off this second period for Athens. Johnson up the half wall, stopped at the opposing line by Lind. McDonald can't stuff it in. Instead, it's taken away by Papa Petros. Papa Petros from the left. Hash marks. Pad save from Babin on the tight angle shot. Robertson one-times it off the far corner, hard off the boards. But Gallant was in an offside position. Gallant will hope that he can score in front of his mother and sister tonight, who are also in the crowd in Columbus. A very beautiful moment that was put on Tammy Gallant's Facebook page. A look of pure surprise during the warm-ups as Kayson Gallant looked behind him to see the closest members of his family in the audience. Columbus ices the puck 44 seconds into the second. Garrett Milan directing some information towards his line as head coach Steve Martinson watches on. Also looks like a new hairstyle for equipment manager Tommy McDonald. Went the shaved head route as this team enters the playoffs. Lind off the board, stopped by Glukaryov in the far corner. Glukaryov trying to get it under his spell. Unable to do so, but he's still challenging Brody Thornton in behind. Milan has a piece of his twig on it. Pinballing around the far boards in the Columbus zone as they try to transition defense into offense. McDonald didn't get there in time. Instead, Adam Oja with fire behind the net finds Milan. Too hard off his stick as he had to go and chase that one. Some numbers going forward here for Columbus as Somero gets blocked Deflected by the traffic out wide. Milan with a wrister into the glove as Babin makes one with the oven mitt. Shot on goal number 17 for Athens. Babin, 31 saves on 35 shots on Wednesday night, his third ever playoff win. His first playoff win as a Columbus River Dragon after being acquired mid-season from the Motor City Rockers, former teammate of Athens, Avery Smith. Puck still stuck in the face-off circle. Stafora trying to direct it towards Shinkarik while also collecting his stick at the same time. Troy Murray in his own zone. Hassled by Jemayev. Jemayev takes a spill after the push from Murray. Shinkarik able to get it to Smith at his own blue line. This line is throwing the body a lot right now. Kind of funny, it's a line of 3 different skaters with different experience levels. As icing will stop the clock with 17:37 to go. Shinkarik, Avery Smith, and Andrew Stafora. Shinkarik, a veteran of this league, the first selection in the 2024 FPHL expansion draft. Smith still in his first few years of pro hockey. And Stafora, who's a rookie. Rock Lobsters with the offensive draw after the Columbus icing. Papa Petros with a shot out of it. Rebound led up by Babin. Milan tried to bank it off the back of Babin. Ended up going through the crease and out. Milan, Weisblatt can't settle it with a glove, but it falls down to the blade of his stick. Can't get the shot off. Backhand flip. Pat saved by Babin. Kukarioff trying to chase it down. The Rock Lobsters relentless at trying to keep the puck in the zone. Milan getting whistled for the offside. I'm not so sure about that one. I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in tonight on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. If you haven't already, make sure you like the stream, subscribe to play a part in our world-famous chat, and also ring the bell to stay notified of all future Athens Rock Lobster content. Milan can't drag it through McDonald on the faceoff. Here's the FPHL veteran, always looking for Ryan Hunter as of late. Hunter led the Columbus River Dragons in goals, I believe, for how much chemistry he's had with McDonald. That being the main reason why he was able to log so many. Hunter with 26 goals in the regular season. Kolatarsi with a risky pass, able to get it to Oja. Oja wrestled himself in a good position to leave it for Kolatarsi. Thornton from the near boards, hard off the shins of Milan and all the way into the Columbus zone. 3.5 minutes gone in the middle frame. Good pinch from Greco at the line. Puck still comes free here for more. The hot hand at the moment for the River Dragons. Good dancing move to get to the crease. Shot came from the far side on Lynn. A pad save from Lavalier. Here come the Columbus River Dragons. Starting to heat things up a little bit. Malik Johnson ran himself a good route, but Kayson Gallant was unable to shake the puck free with enough time to find Malik to marvel. Lynn banks it off his own bench. Johnson, Gallant back to Johnson with a tip, and he scores! Malik the Marvel makes the lead, multiple goals. Malik wants to mix it up. We'll take another look here on the Crawford Laundry spin cycle. Malik Johnson able to shepherd it, passes it back to Gallant. Gallant returns the favor with a little tip out in front on the welcome mat, and Malik Johnson makes it too. The Rock Lobsters trying to claw their way to a Game 3. As things stand, they're well on their way. Malik Johnson, 15 goals in the regular season for him, but mind you, he spent a good portion of time on loan in the ECHL with the South Carolina Stingrays. Uh-oh. Shinkarik and Hatcher with a stare down right at center ice. Shinkarik gets kicked out. Another whistle here on the faceoff. Murray getting upset with Hatcher. The door is open with head coach for Columbus, Jerome Bouchard, almost taking a step on the ice. Little tip out wide. I think that one was off the skates of Greco. Gallant and Greco with the assist on Malik Johnson's opening goal of the playoffs. Shinkarik banks it up the glass. Stopped on the far side by Plouffe. Through Greco, through the trapezoid. Smith lofts it towards the blue line. Stafora, great hit. Opens things up for Shinkarik. Did that one go in? Yes, it did. What a snipe from Shinks. Oh, Captain, fantastic. Does it get more fantastic than that? We're going to take another look at that one. Andrew Stafora opened things up for his captain with a good hit at the line. Shinkarik from the tightest of angles, blade of the stick almost on the goal line, is able to snipe the opposing shelf at the back door, and the Rock Lobsters make it 3. Deja vu in the opposite direction here in Athens. Nerves may have been high for Crustacean Nation as they entered the building down a game, but the Rock Lobsters, with still more than half of this game to be played, have a hefty lead here at 3-0. But they cannot rest on their laurels. They have to go out there and get some more. This is a high-octane Columbus River Dragons team that has plenty of experience here in the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. Lone assist goes to Andrew Stafora on the Carter Shinkarik goal. And we go to immediate timeout here with Crustacean Nation feeling good. They're getting their claws into this one. Rock Lobsters lead 3-0. Stay tuned with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network.
Is this thing on?
Crustacean Nation, the time is now. Season tickets for the upcoming Rock Lobster season are officially on sale. Lock in your seat and be part of every hard-hitting, goal-scoring, crowd-roaring moment right here in the tank, Akins Ford Arena. Don't miss your chance to experience the energy, the excitement, and the best hockey in town all season long. Go ahead and take your phone out, scan the QR code on your screen now to secure your tickets, and join the Rock Lobsters family today. An interesting response here from Athens after that 7-4 loss on Wednesday night. Rock Lobsters didn't look themselves in game one, and now it's Columbus that seemed to be a little bit behind here. Goals from Daniil Glukarioff, Malik Johnson, and Carter Shinkarik. Back-to-back goals from Johnson and Shinkarik. Less than a minute apart from Malik and Shinks. What I want to end up finding out was before that goal from Shinkarik was scored, there was a lot of frustration from the Columbus bench. I believe something about the personnel, and I'm wondering if what it was there's a rule that in the FPHL, if a player gets kicked out twice for one team in the face-off circle, then that team must be given a penalty. Jemayev gets blocked by Greco, and it looks like the Rock Lobsters are going to be going down a man. Bockwell takes it back into his own zone. Shinkarik trying to poke it away from his former teammate Jemayev. Jemayev splits the ice. Doherty tries the move on Greco, and I believe it's going to be Greco who'll sit. Doherty trying to sell a little bit of afters there with Greco. Don't think the referees are buying it. Greco will sit for two anyway. Perfect opportunity for Columbus to get back into this game, their first power play of the night. Columbus power play that has been dangerous over the years, only ranked 7th in the FPHL in the regular season. However, they were cooking with gas on the man advantage back on Wednesday night. Greco called 2 minutes for slashing. Rock Lobsters on their first Leslie Jones Law penalty kill of the night. Let's see if they can keep the same intensity on the shorthand as they have been 5-on-5 tonight. McDonald always taking up this far right side. Milan plays it to himself past Moore. Moore, great recovery defensively, but then it's sent in by Kolatarsi, finishing off the work and the job that Milan began. Shots on goal, 20-8 in favor of the Rock Lobsters. Can the River Dragons start cutting that hefty lead on that meter on the power play? McDonald tries to test Lavalier, but it's an easy glove save for Willie. Wonder if Lavalier feels much more home here on his home ice as opposed to Wednesday night, where he was on his former home ice at the Columbus Civic Center. Jerome Bouchard playing the youngster Hatcher quite a bit on the power play. Hatcher with a goal and assist in his first few games as a professional. College prospect signing out of Adrian College. Shinkarik lets it run. Out of the corner there was Wickline all the way around, stopped at the blue line by Thornton. Wickline gets caught up by the big red machine, Riley Robertson. Hatcher. Great play with a stick there from Weisblatt. Able to pop that balloon and get it into the neutral ice. The River Dragons reload through Slahetka. Backhanded around. Robertson out of this near side corner. Knotting up with Wickline and Jemayev. Wickline comes away with it. Pirouettes in front of Weisblatt. From the left hash marks. Wickline. Pass to the point. Shot comes in. Glove save Lavalier on Thornton. Lavalier looking a man reborn, looking like the man he did in the regular season where he led. Rather, he was third in the FPHL in save percentage with 92.5%. Lavalier with 10 saves thus far in this game. Definitely something Columbus has to try and fix. They have to get that meter up. They try to. Lavalier with another save, swallows it up through traffic. Three to nothing lead. 2 goals scored by Athens, less than a minute apart here in the second period. The River Dragons trying to get one back on the power play. Cole Tarsi, his fellow number 4, Storjahan, hot on his tail. Malik Johnson sends it down 200 feet. Babin plays it in his own trap. Columbus. Recurring issues tonight, trying to play out their own zone. Malik Johnson on the forecheck. Rock Lobsters back at even strength. Successful penalty kill for the Rock Lobsters. Great centering pass from the far side, and we've got a whistle. Johnson throwing some lobster claws at, I believe it's Kyle Moore on the far side, and now he's throwing punches. Johnson with a check on Moore as Moore centered a feed towards the back door, and Johnson drawing the applause of this Akins Ford Arena crowd. Both Moore and Malik will sit. We'll see if this goes down as a fight. You see Moore has the gloves off, trying to reach at Johnson. Johnson with his helmet coming down over his eyes, throwing blind punches, and still landed some on the 26-year-old winger, Kyle Moore, who has 4 goals in his last 3 games against the Rock Lobsters. Right now, there's 2 minutes put on for Kyle Moore. We'll see if they look at Malik Johnson as the instigator or the aggressor. I have to think it won't go down as a fight if Moore is getting 2. Looking for some answers on the penalties here. We'll get you those answers after this commercial break. Stay tuned here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network.
At Athens Stonecasting, Don Hill oversees acres of sculptures poured from thousands of molds. Endless possibilities for neighbors who envision unique gardens. Craig Meeks at First American Bank and Trust caught that vision. Together, Don and Craig create solutions that keep the business teeming with new gifts for the garden. Vision. It's one of the core convictions we live by. Learn more about what we stand for at firstamericanishere.com. First American Bank and Trust.
Looks like it's 5 minutes have put up for Malik Johnson. Just 2 for Kyle Moore. So it'll be 2 minutes of 4-on-4 between these two teams before a 3-minute power play for the River Dragons. Malik Johnson called for the major there. Connor Lynn, someone who's shown some great skating ability this year, showed that there on his foray towards Lavalier's net. McDonald, great move to get in front of the net. His backhander stopped by Lavalier. You don't just hear this Akins Ford Arena crowd right now. You can feel it in your bones. So Malik Johnson was given a fighting major that they've adjudicated Kyle Moore having not taken part in. Instead, I believe Moore just giving a roughing 2 minutes. That's what has led us to this 4-on-4 that will last for the next minute and a half. 4-man penalty kill for the Rock Lobsters. Glukarioff, Shinkarik, Ozia, and this man, Kyle Russell. Kyle Russell, we haven't seen him for quite some time. Slehetka trying to turn in the right circle. Poked ahead by Shinkarik. Shinkarik tries to take away his own defensive play. He might have overcommitted here as the River Dragons now have numbers going the other way. Slehetka with tiptoes in the left circle. Lavalier does just enough. Lavalier with the initial save. It could have gone anywhere after that. He was able to kill some of the momentum on that puck and then get the oven mitt over it to stop time. .10:40 left here. Milan off the near side boards. Gets it back from Papapetros. Ozia bats at it. Comes free from Milan. Papapetros glides through on the right side. Wise pass there from Weisblatt to go back into his own zone for Milan. Milan dancing through the ice, but can't dance through a pair of River Dragons. Rock Lobsters with some good pressure here, despite being down a man. Weisblatt rides the boards with a pass over to Ozia. Weisblatt, Milan, shot deflected off the glass. Milan got tied up with a River Dragon off the puck. Opportunity for Columbus the other side. Hatcher over the bar. Thornton centering feed. Pad save off a Hatcher from Lavalier. Puck pinballing all around the zone for the Rock Lobsters. McDonald can't make Athens pay. Now the power play begins for the River Dragons. Thornton, great play to keep it in at the line. Moore backhands it into the corner. Past Hunter. Weisblatt dives at it. Then blocks the shot as he's taken down to a knee. Philip Virgili. 2 block shots in a row from Athens. And then the Rock Lobsters get the puck out the zone. Recollected at the defensive blue line by the River Dragons. Thornton gliding to the left side. Pass comes to the point for Hunter. Here's Ryan Hunter, the leading goal scorer for the River Dragons this year. Moore to the slot for Slehetka, off the blade of his stick. Trinkles out to the near boards. Let's go Lobsters, ringing out here over Akins Ford Arena. The Rock Lobsters have given the fans a show in the tank tonight, as has this man, Lavalier. Another shot in his solar plexus from McDonald. We go to a commercial break here. The River Dragons just starting out a 3-minute power play, looking to strike for the first time tonight.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
When you're the leader, disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro.
like it never even happened.
Mackie Adams asking in the chat how the River Dragons got a 3-minute power play. We saw that interaction between Malik Johnson and Kyle Moore. Malik Johnson was given a 5-minute fighting major. Meanwhile, Moore was given just 2 minutes for roughing. Thank you as always for Mackie Adams and anyone else who asks questions in the chat. I've always been a question asker myself, so I never hold it against you. Shinkarik, Ozia, Milan, and Kolatarsi, the 4 men on this PK. Slaheka try to get it back to the forehand. Pass does come to the point for Hatcher. Returns the favor to McDonald. Misplays it. Kolatarsi bats it up towards Milan. Milan in the left circle. Couldn't drag it with him as Thornton makes a great defensive effort. Virgili makes his own defensive play with a stick at his blue line to keep Columbus from entering in. Wickline, he misplays the puck, able to poke it ahead, sent down from the Rock Lobster blue line into the trapezoid of Trevor Babin. Weisblatt forces the turnover, pad save on Virgili for the 30-year-old netminder for Columbus. Great position for a potential goal there from Virgili. Hunter wants the call there on Papa Petros. Doesn't like the call, but doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. "30 seconds to go as the Rock Lobsters try to kill off their second penalty of the night. Shinkarik with a stick lift there on Underwood. And it looks like it's going to be a 5-on-3 now for the Rock Lobsters to kill off. Rock Lobster captain Carter Shinkarik called for the hook. Not good news for the Rock Lobsters. They've looked good down a man thus far tonight on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill, but now they'll be down 2. Malik Johnson with 21 seconds left on his fighting major. 2 minutes for Carter Shinkarik now for hooking. Milan, Kolatarsi, and Robertson tasked here with trying to keep Columbus out. They'll get a man back in 15 seconds, and out of the faceoff, they're able to clear their ice. Underwood with speed, drops it back to the line for Moore, rides the line with a pass to the right side for McDonald. At the red line is Storjahan. Moore in the left circle. Off the far side boards, Malik Johnson is back. Moore in the left circle, though. Pad save from Lavaliere. Rebounds back out to Moore. Robertson on his back. Kolatarsi down to a knee and scoops it out of the zone. Now 1:20 of power play after the Shinkarik hook call. Weisblatt, great play with the stick. Johnson is on his way. Johnson, great move to get the other side of Babin, who's able to lift some part of his equipment up and make a save. McDonald trying to breeze through Weisblatt. One-time shot from the right circle. Storjahan is stuffed. We talked about how Columbus needs to get that shot on goal tally up in this game. They've been able to do that. Last time we mentioned that they had 10 in the contest. Now it's grown to 18. Meanwhile, though, the Rock Lobsters still have the advantage. 7 shots over Columbus, 25. Jemayev replaced by Wickline over the dot. Wickline able to win the draw. Whistler of a shot over the bar, but just about from Slahetka. Virgili sending pressure at the blue line. Comes free for the Swede. To Milan. Milan in the right circle. Back to Virgili. Just missed the Swede at the back door. Virgili out of the corner. Able to treat Thornton like a saloon door, but his pass exits the zone through the neutral ice and back to Papapetros on the Athens half. Rock Lobsters making the argument that that was played by a high stick, and the officials will agree. Just about reaching the final 5 minutes of play here in the middle frame. Shout out to Hooked on the Lobsters in the chat. Got to exchange a chest bump with him in front of Wild Willies here at the arena. Also got a tremendous gift from Cynthia and Christopher, who crocheted me a beautiful little lobster tapestry. Thank you so much for a beautiful gift, Cynthia and Christopher. Be a beautiful gift tonight if the Rock Lobsters can continue on this trend. Up 3 goals, penalty kill, looking tremendous. Ton of energy, playing 5-on-5. Power play goal tonight. Oh, I think there was a push in behind there on Malik Johnson. Either that or he took out Babin. Lukarioff taking exception there against the River Dragon captain, Underwood. That's a strong referee there. How about the official there getting the underhooks on Lukarioff? Lukarioff and Balkwill tied up. And I've got to give the plaudits to Phil Roosler, the linesman tonight. Lukarioff to the penalty box. Looks like Balkwill will join him. Shinkarik and Moore awaiting some explanation. And we go back to a commercial break here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Malik Johnson returning to the box. Looks like Columbus might be going back to the power play. We'll get you some more information after this.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
It does look like the River Dragons are heading back to the power play. Malik Johnson's number up on the board with 2 minutes next to his name. His penalty not coming up yet on the federalhockey.com website. Face-off win for Columbus on this power play. Ripper, and there's a tip in right in front from Storjahan. 2 goals on Wednesday, and he's back on the score sheet for Columbus tonight. Right now, the narrative between Game 1 and Game 2, at least from the perspective of the score, is looking like deja vu in the reverse direction. 3-0, 3-1 now, as the River Dragons have got their first goal of the night, and it's come in the final 5 minutes of the second period. Greco with a huge hit on Somero in front of the penalty box. Malik Johnson got a great view of that. But are we going to another penalty kill, though? Rock Lobsters have to find their discipline here. One of the officials has a hold of Greco. Doherty getting in the face of Greco. Somero not happy about the hit. And Greco will sit. It's a fine line to try and ride, to play a physical game. It looks like Greco is returning to the bench. Thought after the whistle, and Greco, who laid that hard hit, and it was something that we saw quite a bit on Wednesday night. I felt like there was a lot of coming togethers between the two teams, barking in each other's faces, a lot of scuffles that the referees separated, and then when they saw a heavy hit that might be clean, it felt like that was a call that they had to, they felt like that was a call they had to make, to send someone to the penalty box. We're hearing a timeout here, 4:49 to go. Let's keep a quick look at the scores around the FPHL playoffs. Danbury Hat-Tricks with a 2-1 lead against the Port Huron Prowlers in the second period. The Binghamton Black Bears have their lead now against the Watertown Wolves, 2-0. Carolina Thunderbirds up big against Blue Ridge, 4-0. Face-off on the Rock Lobsters side of the neutral ice. Shinkarik against Bersani. Bersani has made it a point to get under the Rock Lobsters shell, not only in this playoff series, but in the final two games of the regular season as well. I would argue that it's worked within his favor. Shinkarik snapping a shot at Babin off the chest of the veteran and down into his glove. Not sure what the call was for the whistle after the hit from Greco. I believed initially that it was going to be a Rock Lobster penalty, but both teams skating five-a-side. Virgili, face-off win, Papa Petros pad save! Open net for Malik Johnson! Sometimes you just have to marvel at what that man can do. It all came out of great passing play, and the Rock Lobsters challenging Trevor Babin. Let's look at how it all happened on the Crawford Laundry spin cycle. Papa Petros with a shot out in front. Malik Johnson got the quick pass from Virgili. And all Johnson has to do is pass it into the open net to make it 4-1. And once again, the scoring has been a mirrored reflection of the game on Wednesday night. A 3-0 lead cut to 3-1, and now the Rock Lobsters up 4-1. Malik Johnson, the man who's now on hat-trick watch. Off the boards of his bench, chased by Gallant. Gallant gets it back behind the goal line. Right circle centering pass. Gets it back on his own rebound to the pass. Virgili with a shot. Tremendous save by Babin. Hatcher on a nice little foray. Gets it poked away from him. Virgili and Papa Petros on Malik Johnson's second of the night. Second of the period. Robertson with Hunter behind him. Off the end boards, Kolatarsi in the near corner. Ooh, that one's heading towards the crowd. a fan who made a good catch. To his feet, gets some applause here from Crustacean Nation, just like this team has in this game thus far. They have answered the call well after that 7-4 loss in Game 1, the most goals given up by the Rock Lobsters this season. It's been a better frame offensively for Columbus. They looked anemic in the first 20. They have a goal to their name and plenty more shots on goal as well. I believe 13 in this second period. Russell tries to wrestle it away from Thornton. Russell gets himself to the goal line, takes a tip off of a River Dragon, followed up by Weisblatt, misses wide. Weisblatt thinks about the wraparound, finds Kolatarsi at the point, fakes the slapper, off the end boards, falls back toward Milan. Milan took a tip off a River Dragon stick. Russell hard into the corner, bounces off of Thornton, but Weisblatt there to help him out. Centering pass towards Milan, cut out by Moore. Russell, tremendous forecheck from the youngster. What a beautiful move there from Weisblatt, protecting possession behind the goal line. Milan says, whatever you can do, I can do better. Puck trickles out in front of the net for Columbus. Lavalier, quick play outside of his crease to get it off the boards. Stafora with speed. The rookie in the left circle. Backhand helper over to Smith, who took a check. One time by Shinkarik. What a save by Babin. Not sure he even knew much about it. The Rock Lobsters trying to claw their way into a Game 3, which would be decisive and which would be played here tomorrow night here at Akins Ford Arena. If you have not already, make sure you purchase your playoff tickets for tomorrow night now. It's not set in stone just yet. Still more hockey to be played here, but you do not want to miss the opportunity to watch your Rock Lobsters in a decisive game. Take your phone out now, scan the QR code, and make sure you secure your ticket for Saturday night. Less than 2 minutes to go. Shinkarik directing traffic a little bit like a point guard before this next faceoff. The funny thing about Carter Shinkarik, we've seen him at both defense and at center this season. It's difficult to say where he's looked more natural. Smith hassling a River Dragons blue liner. Sharp angle shot from Stafora. Off the side of the netting. Jemayev tries the tight angle shot. Lavalier bats it away with a blocker. Murray poked ahead. Smith can't stop it at the line. Somero trying the tip in between the legs. And it looks like there's a slashing call going against Athens. Would have came right on the shot there, as Stafora will sit for the remainder of this period. That is, unless the River Dragons are able to net their second power play goal of the night. They scored on the man advantage earlier on in this period, just 4 minutes ago, through Alex Storjahan, but the Rock Lobsters answered back 31 seconds later to make it 4-1. Third period disciplinary issues was an issue for the Rock Lobsters as Lavalier watches that shot all the way. Milan dropping the gloves here. Oh, a great overhand right on Storjahan. And then wrestles Milan to the ground. Storjahan took the way out after Milan fired in some great overhand rights. Milan wants to hear it from the Akins Ford Arena crowd. Just another example of how Super Milan will not back down from anybody. He takes the early trip to the locker room, should be back in the third period. But what else is to come here of the penalties, which there were so many of on Wednesday night between these two teams. Joe Colatarsi in an animated conversation with one of the referees. Right now it's just Milan's fighting major that's coming up on federalhockey.com. This goes down as a fight for Storjahan and Milan as we remain on the power play. Hatcher down on the ice immediately after the faceoff. Hatcher unable to even walk back to the bench. Didn't see what happened. He was there on the far side. Behind my view as Malik Johnson wins it off of Babin. Babin with a shot, looking for the hat trick here. Hatcher still in a lot of distress on the Columbus bench as we are in the final 40 seconds of play here. Not sure we'll ever get a good view of what happened there. I thought maybe he took a spear or something in a place where the sun won't shine. But then he was unable to walk back toward the bench. So I don't know if it's a groin issue or what. We'll see if we see Hatcher for the remainder of this game. Colatarsi. Great bat away from Wickline. Shinkarik finishes the job and clears the ice. The River Dragons down 4-1. But as action ends here in the second period, they will start the third on the man advantage. We'll see here if Nash Hatcher is going to be able to make his way off the ice after he left back toward the bench in great discomfort. And he's down on his haunches right now as well. High fives and high vibes for William Lavaliere, who's had a tremendous bounce back game after being pulled after the first period on Wednesday night. And the Rock Lobsters getting applauded for their efforts through 40 minutes as we are going into the third period with a 4-1 Rock Lobster lead. It was all about goals in quick succession in the second period. 4 minutes and 17 seconds in, Malik Johnson scored his first, followed up by Carter Shinkarik with a beautiful snipe on the tight angle. Was able to go bar down on the far post into the top shelf. Columbus would get their goal, and of course it came on the power play. Power play numbers haven't been tremendous for the River Dragons this season, but against the Rock Lobsters, the power play for Columbus has done quite well. Luckily for the Rock Lobsters, they were able to retake the 3-goal lead. Malik Johnson, 31 seconds after Storjahan's opener for Columbus, is able to make it 4-1 Athens. For clarification as well, it does go down as 5 minutes apiece for Garrett Milan and Alex Storjahan. We should see them in the first few minutes of the third period. But one of the stories of the weekend for me has been Kayson Gallant. Of course, he scored on the power play back on Wednesday night, but the reason why his story has been so tremendous this weekend is because of the arrival of his mother and sister to the Peach State from Red Deer, Alberta. There's a great video that Tammy Gallant put up on her Facebook of her and her daughter taking in warm-ups. Kayson Gallant with a tremendous reaction as he looked into the stands, seeing members of his family, and a big smile emerged on the Red Deer Rockets' face. His family was a point of discussion in my talks with him. Here is our Lobster Tales segment with the Red Deer Rocket himself, the leading goal scorer in the regular season in the FPHL, 40-goal scorer, Kayson Gallant.
Hey, Crustacean Nation, welcome back to Lobster Tales on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. It's the go-to way for you fans to learn more about your favorite players. As always, I'm your host, Matt Rad, and I'm joined today by top goal scorer in the FPHL's 2024-25 regular season, Kayson Gallant. Gally, how you doing today, my man?
I'm feeling great. Day before playoffs, so we're ramping things up over here.
It's a tremendous feeling, man. You've been heavily requested as one of our guests on the show, and it really feels like you're the man of the moment right now. You'll go down as the only player in this league to score 40 goals. Was that something you were envisioning for yourself when you joined this team?
Definitely not. I mean, I expected to come in and just try and, help the team win as much as possible, but I didn't expect to fill the net that much, I guess.
You've really exploded for goals in the second half of this season, especially on the power play. You're kind of in that, what they call that OV spot. You're that kind of guy on the unit. Yeah. What factors do you think led to you leading the league in power play goals?
Definitely, it's got to be a part of Marty's, knowledge of, putting the right guys out on the power play, and then the guys on the power play too, right? They're very skilled with Milan, Shinks, and sometimes Orca, sometimes Danny and Phil and Mallow even. Like all those guys contribute to, doesn't matter who scores on the power play. So,
Coach Marty had told me in a previous interview that he acknowledged how tremendous of a player you were at the beginning of the season, and yet you still made a case for yourself as the most improved player on this team across the season. What have you made of your growth this year? Do you feel like you came into this organization as a 40-goal caliber player, or did that happen along the way?
I think it definitely happened along the way, just with the mentorship on the team and the players and stuff like that. You obviously come in and you want to play as good as possible, but I think my first thought of the first 2 months was just play good enough where you can't cut yet.
I think you're an interesting person to get this kind of perspective from. Coach Marty brings so much experience to the table, and I can't imagine how valuable that is for, a young man like you who's still in the budding stages of his career. What do you think is the biggest lesson you've learned from having Marty as your coach?
Honestly, just the whole 200 feet of the ice. It's a completely different game looking at that way instead of just seeing one side of the red line, the offensive side. So when you play defense, the offense comes a lot easier.
It felt like there was a shift from you at some point in the middle of the season where your play had just gotten exponentially more gritty. Was that something you put work into, or did that come naturally with the nature of the league?
Definitely part of the league for sure, but Marty had, he had asked guys to step up with their game, and then if you're going to play in this league, you can't just be a princess and dance around everybody. You got to get your nose dirty. So I definitely put a stress on it for a couple months there for sure to kind of ramp that side of it up.
Of course, a lot has been made of your partnership with Philip Virgili. It was something we talked about all the way back in October, and it's something that I asked Phil about just last week. What do you think Phil's biggest contribution has been to your monster of a season?
He's just such a smart player and big brother to me, right? So we talk all the time. We're always chatting on the bench, and you can say one thing to him and he'll know right where you are the next shift and find you with the puck or go to an open area, and he's always in the right spots.
You're going into this playoff series against Columbus, and you specifically have had some memorable moments against the River Dragons in that building. The first time you played at the Civic Center, you scored the latest regulation goal by the team this season, I believe, with 6 seconds to go to force the game into overtime. What is a moment like that like? I feel like it's one of those things where the puck hits the net and you just black out.
Yeah, pretty much, right? The last 20 seconds of that game is just kind of you black out. You just throw everything on net and go to the net as fast as possible. And honestly, it doesn't matter who puts it in as long as it does go in.
What moment ranks higher? Is it that goal, or was it that home ice hat trick you had just a few weeks ago against Bingo?
I think it's got to be at home against Bingo with the crowd and stuff. And against Bingo, I mean, they're a good team, but the goal wasn't. That's not the credit all to me either. I mean, they made some great plays to me by Mallow and Phil. They made some great passes. So
Going into this,
take all the credit.
you never do either. I know you pretty well. Are you going into this game tomorrow as a playoff start with the same mentality as any other game, or is there a mode that you kind of have to lock yourself into at all?
I think there's a little bit of a different mode. I think playoffs is a little bit of a different beast, and you have to find something inside you to just push yourself that extra gear and find it. And I think we got a lot of guys on our team that can do that.
Going back in the time machine a little bit, Case, you grew up in Red Deer, Alberta, and you've become affectionately known as the Red Deer Rocket on the broadcast. What's something you can tell us about home that makes it special?
My family, obviously my mom and my dad. There's nothing better than that. My grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, my friends. They've been so supportive through this whole season and even last year when I wasn't playing. So I cannot thank them enough. That's what makes home special.
I was curious. I looked it up, and apparently it's the same distance from Red Deer to Calgary and to Edmonton. So was there a team that you had to choose growing up? Was there a good split in Red Deer?
Yeah, there was definitely a good split, but I went with Edmonton. Sean Harkoff and stuff like that. So, and Ryan Smith, I liked them at the time.
They've probably been a little closer to touching glory in your time on this earth as well. And that kind of leads us well into our next little segment we have here, Gally. I've been adding some game segments in our recent Lobster Tail interviews, and you were born right exactly before the new century in December of 1999. That, along with you being the potential rookie of the year in the FPHL this season, one of the league's best young talents, we're going to play a game of older or younger. I'm going to give you a list of things, and one after the other, you're going to tell me if you think that you are older or younger than that thing. Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah.
All right. The first thing we have on our list is a movie. Let's start with Shrek. Do you think you're older or younger than the first Shrek movie?
I think I'm younger, actually.
You're older. Shrek came out in 2001.
Oh, that's bad. The hot start.
I'll warn you now. These are all pretty close to your birthday.
Okay.
So the next up is the Columbus Blue Jackets, an expansion franchise. Are you older or younger than the Bull?
I think I'm younger. Was it not 99 or 98 it came out?
97 was the first Columbus Blue Jackets season.
Good way with that.
So that was a team that, made a shift, a seismic change in the league. How about a player that's done so? Cale Makar. Are you older than or younger than Cale Makar?
I think I'm older than him.
You are younger. Cale Makar in 98. I don't know if you're going to know this or not. I don't know if they have this in Canada. The TV show Survivor. Do they have Survivor in Canada?
Oh, they do. I've never watched it, but I think it's older than me.
You are older than Survivor. It came out in 2000.
I'm not getting tricky.
How about the comfortable shoe that continues to sweep the nation, Kayson? Crocs. Are you older or younger than Crocs?
I gotta be older than Crocs, right?
You're older than Crocs. You got that one right.
Let's go.
Last one. You're well aware of Marian Hossa, I'm sure. He scored 525 goals in his career. But goal number 28 in his career, do you think you're older or younger than that goal?
28. Let's say I'm younger than it.
Trick question, Gally. That goal came on December 13th, 1999, and that is your birthday.
Yes, it is.
All right, Kayson, that dumb end to that segment leads us right into Question a Crustacean. It's the go-to way that Rock Lobster fans can learn more about their favorite players by asking them questions themselves. If you'd like the opportunity to ask players questions in future interviews, look for posts from me in our Athens Rock Lobster fan page on Facebook. Kayson, first question is from Becky Rice Hasty, and she wants to know, ninjas or pirates? What are you more interested in?
Oh, I think I got to go Pirates from...
Me too.
Pirates
I see what's on the game. Our tech extraordinaire Stephen Turner says, Athens, Georgia is far from Alberta. What do you think about Georgia living, and have you learned any Southern sayings?
I haven't learned any sayings, I don't think. I think I just say y'all a lot more.
That's the universal language, man. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Someone that I know is a big fan of yours, Maddie Benton, is curious. What sport would you play, or if hockey or golf wasn't an option?
Honestly, I'd probably skateboard. I used to skateboard competitively as a kid, and I think I would choose that.
I think someone else told me that they were a skateboarder too. I can't remember if it was Grex or not. Is there any time, or is it even a smart idea for you guys to get on a board during the season at all?
Definitely not during the season, that's for sure. I mean, I'd like to think I have enough skill from when I was 16 to still be able to not hurt myself, but you never know. So I save it for summer.
Maddie's dad is up next on our list. Ty wants to know the difference between college hockey experience and pro hockey experience, and which one have you liked better?
Definitely similar in some ways, but different in others. Like the guys, we live together. We spend a lot of time together like that. But the hockey side, in the professional side, it's a lot more serious, right? There's a lot more on the line. There's always that little stress in the back of your head going, I got to keep playing well to stay in the lineup every night. So,
Shannon Vanskike with this question. Do you have plans to move up, or do you swear an oath to the Lobsters forever? It's an interesting question, Case. What do you think the path ahead for you looks like?
I think right now we're just trying to stay focused on playoffs. But if I was to look ahead next year, maybe try and get into an East Coast camp and try and get a couple games there next year. And if not, then play here for the remaining of the next year and see what happens after that.
Catherine Harding, someone who is interested in both Athens and Columbus hockey, asks, what is your favorite thing about Athens?
It's got to be the liveliness of it. Like you go out on any day of the week and you go downtown sunny day, it's just bumping. Something's going on, live music. The people are great. The Southern hospitality is real. So that's been awesome.
Her supporting Columbus, the River Dragons as well. She was curious what your favorite part of the in-state rivalry against Columbus was.
The intensity. Definitely the intensity. It's different. It's different than any hockey I've ever played.
Thor Neff with our next question. He asked for any pregame routine or superstitions you might have.
Nothing more than my right skate on before my left, my right shin pad all the way up to the gloves, pretty much. I like to play a little bit of sewer ball and just make sure I get a good stretching routine. And I'll make the same breakfast every day on home game days with hash browns, eggs, and bacon, and watch a little bit of Lost, and then I'm good for the day.
Have you and the boys discovered the glory of Waffle House yet? I guess I haven't asked that question to anybody.
Yeah, we definitely have. Some of the guys have, we always get a text every now and then in the group chats saying, does anyone want to hit a Waffle House? And there's always a few guys.
Well, Case, your family has been a part of our cast of characters in our YouTube broadcast chat. I'm not sure if it's something you know or not, but it's definitely something H.R. Roman has noticed. He wants you to talk about the support and energy you feel from your family. He says, we see them in the chat always following and supporting you. The love and pride they feel for you is palpable. How does that fuel you?
I mean, there's nothing better to fuel you, right? If you can't get up in the morning for your family like that, I mean, I don't know what you're doing. So they've been absolutely amazing. I mean, talk to my mom every other day and my dad just about the same. So it's good to talk to them and keep in touch as much as possible when you spend 8-9 months away from them at a time. So I definitely miss them lots, and I can't thank them enough for, I wouldn't be here without them. So,
well, hopefully you can go back home to Red Deer with a ring, and maybe you could bring the cup as well. Hope McIntyre with our next question. She asked, what are your favorite books to read? Are you a reader, Gally? Is that something we don't know?
I'm not a huge reader, but I try to read like the self-help book kind of things. So like the one I'm reading right now is like, I think it's like Atomic Habits or something, but I don't read a lot. So it's, first chapter here, second chapter there.
All the guys are really smart guys. I couldn't imagine at the same time, like getting on the bus and seeing one of the guys with like a book in their hand. Maybe that.
No, I've read maybe twice on the book or on the bus. And I think I might have been the only one.
Well, next question goes to our fan club admin, Niven McCrary. She pointed out some of the guys got to make their own creation at Farm Burger. What's your ultimate burger combo? What are your toppings? Fries, tater tots, or sweet potato fries, and what to drink?
I'm going to start with the drink, and you got to get a milkshake. Because, you always got to start with that. Just to build your own, I keep it pretty easy. onions, lettuce, tomato, pickles, pickled jalapenos with a little spice. Paprika mayo has been awesome on there. Tried the pork belly as well, and probably the best chicken tenders I've ever had there on the side of fries.
John Pearson asks, what your favorite thing to do in your downtime around Athens?
My favorite thing is, spending time with the guys, obviously try and get close as possible, but we play a lot of pickleball and hang out at the pool, watch hockey together, maybe go downtown when football season's on, catch a couple games there as well.
James Megan Vineyard with an important one. What's his favorite Southern dish he has tried?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if I have an answer. They've been all so good, but I do love just when they get like a big barbecue together. Just put everything on there. The mac and cheese, the brisket, everything.
You're speaking to my soul right now, Case.
Yeah.
Our in-house DJ at Akins Ford Arena, DJ Webster, what's your go-to karaoke song?
I think I did "Shook Me All Night Long" by AC/DC at one of our gatherings.
Well, Kate, important question askers coming up here. Raylan Robertson asks, if you could play hockey on any team in the world for one day, what team would that be, and who would you want as your line mates? Line mates can be anybody.
I mean, it's pretty hard not to say something like Colorado, play with McKinnon, and let's say Landeskog is back, or Natchez, and have Makar on the back end. I feel like that'd be a pretty good start.
I think it's a great answer, but finally, the most important question from dear old mom herself, Tammy Gallant. She tells us that Grandma Lou wants to know, does she get that steak and lobster supper when you come back to Red Deer?
Yes, she sure does. Yes, she sure does.
Well, I think that's a heartfelt end to this conversation, Kayson. Thank you so much. Another great lobster tale told here on the network. The Athens Rock Lobsters begin their road towards the Commissioner's Cup on Wednesday, April 16th in Columbus, Georgia, against the Columbus River Dragons. The team will then return to Akins Ford Arena on Friday, April 18th for Game 2 of the series. If necessary, Game 3 will be in the tank on Saturday night. All puck drops will occur at 7:05 p.m. Secure your playoff tickets to cheer your team toward a championship at rocklobstershockey.com or classiccenterevenue.net. Case, see you Wednesday, my brother.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. You have yourself a good one.
You're listening to Athens Rock Lobster Hockey on WGAU and W254 CJ Athens, 98.7 FM and AM 1340 WGAU. The Rock Lobsters had a great second period, having scored 3 goals to Columbus's 1. And right now, what is sticking out to me is that the scoreline continues to change in the same way that it did on Wednesday night. The hometown team took a 3-0 lead before it was cut to 3 run by the visitors. And now we have a 4-1 game, just like we had on Wednesday night. However, reverse scoreline as the Rock Lobsters are the ones that have the advantage here at Akins Ford Arena. Columbus River Dragons trying to strike first here in the third as they'll start on the power play. Kolatarsi trying to one-time it out of the zone. Andrew Sephora will be back in 15 seconds' time. Malik Johnson. A little bit of gasoline in his skates as he'll dump it in and chase. Johnson on hat trick watch. Columbus captain drops it for the veteran McDonald. Both teams now back at full strength. Hatcher, a good little move. Trickle to Lavalier, who freezes with less than a minute gone here in the third. Athens Rock Lobsters trying to secure their first ever Commissioner's Cup playoff win in their first ever Commissioner's Cup home game. Columbus ends up coming out with the face-off. Thornton with a whistling shot, hard off the inboards all the way around the net, picked back up by Lind on the right side for the blue liner. Greco Sent it around, stopped by Thornton. Shinkarik getting tied up there in the far corner. And it looks like the River Dragons are sending someone to the box here. Or are they? Referee very animated, blew the whistle, stopped play. Must have been a hand pass or a high stick that played the puck. Face-off just taken into the neutral zone. Lind, good skater at the blue line for the River Dragons. He'll dump, he'll chase himself. Lays the hit in the end boards. Stafora gets it through one, can't get it through two. Thornton rides the red line to Lind with a pass. Tipped out of play, negating any potential delay of game call. For those of you unaware, Columbus River Dragons with a 1-0 lead in the series. Rock Lobsters with a 4-1 lead here in Game 2. If this scoreline remains, it will all come down to a decisive Game 3 here at Akins Ford Arena tomorrow night at 7:05. If you haven't already, secure your playoff tickets to watch your Rock Lobsters with all of the marbles to play for. Greco. First one to the biscuit out of the faceoff. Slahetka with Smith on his back. Couple of pokes in from Smith. Slahetka gets the pass off. Doherty, little shoulder bump between him and Smith. Wickline lets it run. Shot came in from the far side. Slahetka with a one-timer. Blocked by the traffic out in front. Stafora sweeps it away. Took a stick into the face. Referees didn't see it. Slahetka left hash mark shot. Batted away by Shinkarik. And we'll see here, Stafora might have to stay on the ice. We saw him bothered by what looked like a stick to the face. Stafora checking for blood as he'll make his way back out into the face-off circle. It's something that me and Columbus River Dragons broadcaster, former FPHL broadcaster of the year, Tom Callahan, talked in the intermission. You're seeing both teams really trying to sell penalties in this game. We've seen some simulation from both teams in this game. Smith, feed to Virgili on the far side, stopped by the stick of Balkwill. From the edge of his own zone, Moore bounces one off the glass, almost dropped down for Hunter, taken away by the Rock Lobsters. McDonald, 34 years old. He scored to make it 6-2 on Wednesday night. That was his 20th career FPHL playoff point. Kayson Gallant getting on his horse. Underwood, though, the veteran, able to get there in time. Flips it out to Moore on the far side. Stopped by Weisblatt at the line. Weisblatt fires a shot, blocked by Moore. One-timed at the blue line by Kolatarsi. Kayson Gallant can't sweep in the rebound. Kolatarsi has another shot blocked. Malik Johnson with a broken stick here. Calamity of bodies with a collision. Weisblatt, Lind, and Johnson. Here's Lind out of that scrum. Lind, left hash marks. Thornton coming in from the blue line. Tight angle shot. Ryan Hunter gets saved by Lavalier. Puck emerged on the ice for Glukaryov. Brody Thornton did enough to intervene the Russian, carrying the puck into the zone. Russell getting deployed here as a forward, as Garrett Milan will have to await the horn to get back onto the ice after his fighting major with Storjahan at the end of the second period. Weisblatt takes it off of Thornton, but then Jemayev took it off the killer whale. Plouffe with a slight bobble, still got the pass off to Jemayev. Robertson, backhand flipper to the Columbus half wall. Plouffe, snap pass to Bersani at the blue line. Picked back up by Robertson behind the goal line. Avery Smith did a good job to shepherd the pass through the River Dragons, but just missed Carter Shinkarik. Shinkarik's goal was the cherry on top of that run of 3 unanswered goals to start this game. Long-range pass from Papa Petros evades Smith. Shinkarik pokes it. Takes a big hit as he was already down, I believe, to a knee. Believe it was Hatcher who laid that hit, and here he is. He seems to have recovered from whatever was bothering him at the end of that second period. Plouffe gliding over the center ice. Whistled for the offside. High intensity first couple of periods here at Akins Ford Arena. Let's see if we can recapture that here in the third after this commercial break. More Rock Lobster hockey coming up after this.
At Athens Stonecasting, Don Hill oversees acres of sculptures poured from thousands of molds. Endless possibilities for neighbors who envision unique gardens. Craig Meeks at First American Bank and Trust caught that vision. Together, Don and Craig create solutions that keep the business teeming with new gifts for the garden. Vision. It's one of the core convictions we live by. Learn more about what we stand for at firstamericanishere.com. First American Bank and Trust.
Rock Lobster fans, this is Brad Akins. Akins Ford has led the way for years and keeps on growing. From offering the Southeast's largest inventory to being #1 in the nation in Ford truck sales, we're here to serve you. Want to customize your ride? Our Wild Willie's accessories team can make it as unique as you are. Make it legendary. Need service? Our fleet of over a dozen mobile service vans come right to you. Akins Ford and Winder. We really are closer and bigger than you think. Rock Lobsters, let's go.
Still about 14 and a half minutes to be played here at Akins Ford Arena in the first ever playoff game in the Rock Lobsters' home. Trying to cement the memories made here for the fans who have made their way out. Trying to guess, looking out at the crowd here, just how many have made the trip to Akins Ford. My guess is a good 3,500. Gallant got a piece of it, dropped down for Bockwell. Nice little exchange here between Moore and McDonald in the neutral zone. McDonald with a one-timer off the stick of Johnson into the netting. Quick opportunity here to thank some of our sponsors and friends of the show. Athens Area Urology. You're in good hands with Athens Area Urology. Plumber Pro, Hospitality South, Athens Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Classic City Flats, the home of the Rock Lobsters, Harmon Enterprises, Roto-Rooter, Aero Exterminators, Northeast Distributing Company, Aegis Trust Company, De Palma's Italian Cafe, Leslie Jones Law, Porterhouse Grill, Farm Burger, Fox's Pizza, and 23 Design. Rock Lobsters have played very cleverly out of their own zone in tonight's game. That was something that was maybe a little bit lacking from them in the 7-4 loss on Wednesday. Garrett Milan is back in contention here, having served his fighting major. Lukarioff gets stuck in the corner between Bockwell and McDonald. Columbus captain Underwood snaps his stick on the dump-in. Rock Lobsters looking for the call, not exactly sure what call they're looking for. Hunter gets blocked out by Kolatarsi. Milan enters in on the left side. Milan snaps a shot. Might have taken a piece of the edge of Babin's glove. Either way, missed over the bar. Thornton. 11 shots on goal. The difference maker between these two teams. Athens with 34. Columbus with 23. Storjahan. Shot gets blocked by Smith. Stafora trying to track down Lind. Centering pass from Hatcher at the goal line. Shinkarik takes it away. Shinkarik with speed. Babin got a piece of it. Not enough, and Shinkarik has not yet gone back up to the ice as he hops toward the bench. He leaves his stick there. Not a great sight for the Athens captain as he'll get checked on by athletic trainer Chris McNeely. Virgili gets taken down by Plouffe. He's looking for a call as well. Carter Shinkarik, former River Dragon, first pick in the FPHL expansion draft by the Athens Rock Lobsters. Kept at the line. Doherty. Pass gets deflected to the left circle. Shinkarik with the helmet off on the Rock Lobster bench. Oh, goodness. It looks like he's leaving the bench and potentially heading back to the Athens locker room. Shinkarik got crunched into the end boards. And now looks like he's getting forced out of this game. When his return will be, we do not know, especially as we're in the later stages of this game. Troy Cushman with the question in the chat, and I'm happy to answer that playoff tickets for tomorrow night's game, if it happens, are already on sale. Go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen with your phone, and it will take you to classiccenter.evenue.net so you can secure your seats for tomorrow night's Game 3 between the Rock Lobsters and the River Dragons. You're going to want to cheer your team on to potentially the semifinals in the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. Didn't look great. Captain Fantastic Carter Shinkarik helped off the ice by Chris McNeely. Hoping it was just some contact he took rather than anything that got crunched. I've talked a little bit before on the broadcast about my relation with New York Rangers center Mika Zibanejad. And I recall in his first year in New York, he got tied up very similar to that play there on Shinkarik. Ended up breaking Mika's leg. Luckily, it didn't seem like Shinkarik was in that level of distress, but still Shinkarik needing the help of a teammate and athletic trainer Chris McNeely to make his way off the ice. Something that we haven't talked about yet this year, if the Rock Lobsters win, that's not just a win for them, that's also a win for Crustacean Nation. When we win, you win through the FanSaves app. You can scan the QR code to earn 20% off through our friends at Classic Sativa. 20% off all products at Classic Sativa when the Rock Lobsters win. We'll keep you updated on that. Stoppage in play here, and this series has already been no stranger to stoppages. In Columbus, it's mostly because of the rink and potential pieces of the glass or of the boards falling down to the ice. I believe we have a blood cleanup issue in the face-off circle to the left of William Lavalier. We're going to go to a commercial break real quick. Rock Lobsters still in a 4-1 lead, trying to hold on to it and send this series to a third game. More Rock Lobsters hockey coming up here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. PGA football player Emeritus Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Saw some blood cleanup in the left face-off circle of William Lavalier. Some fans speculating that they saw the blood coming from the leg of Shinkarik. And the only thing that you can speculate there is that perhaps there was some sort of skate that he took in that tangle that he took in the boards. Hopefully, best case scenario, he can get something stitched up and get back to the ice. We'll find out. Face off here, 11:44 to go. Rock Lobsters having done a great job tonight protecting the net front. That's something that they did not do well on Wednesday. Johnson thought he beat Bockwell on the foot race, but the icing gets whistled for. Face off, taken back down to that circle to the right of Lavalier. McDonald against Virgili. As we talked about earlier in this game, it's been a great bounce-back contest for William Lavalier. The River Dragons win the face-off, but McDonald hard off of Hunter's skates on the one draw. Gallant takes a hit up high on Bockwell, and the Rock Lobsters are going to go on the man advantage. And as it makes its way towards Babin's stick, the Rock Lobsters going to the power play here. Haven't seen the Rock Lobsters on the quadruple P in quite some time. As a matter of fact, I don't believe they've been on the power play since the one they've scored on. That came just a few minutes into this contest. With the absence of Shinkarik, we've got Gallant, Glukaryov, Virgili, Milan, and Weisblatt. Weisblatt, he is here in the near corner. Gallant over to help him out. Glukaryov up the left side at the hash marks. Gallant. Milan. Virgili lets it run off the end boards into the near side corner once again. Gallant pushes it towards Weisblatt. Gallant looking for a tip out in front for Virgili. Stopped by the glove of Glukaryov at the point. Milan to Gallant. Tip out in front. Weisblatt, what a save by Babin. One of the best saves I've seen here. Babin stops a rebound from Weisblatt. Glukaryov sends a whistle past him. Here's Glukaryov again. Gallant with a one-timer. Babin able to squeeze the quads and stop time with 1:04 left on this power play for the Rock Lobsters. My goodness. Babin sprawling after the rebound to stop Weisblatt from putting a puck in the back of what looked at that point like an open net. You've got to give the plaudits when you see them to be given. And Trevor Babin with one of the best saves I've seen this season. We're going to redo the face-off in this circle between two number 10s, Wickline and Milan. The latter wins. Glukariov, Gallant rifles a pass. Milan unable to get enough mustard on that one as Plouffe sends it down the length of the ice. Final 10 minutes of play here at Akins Ford Arena. Glukariov broke the ankles of Wickline. Gallant breezing into the zone. Milan, Weisblatt. Milan tilt-a-whirl, centering feed. Gallant shakes it free off of Wickline. Milan, Glukariov running the point. Milan in the right circle. Virgili. He loves a pirouette on the goal line. Opts against it, finds Milan in the right circle. Here's the sweet at the hash marks. Milan. Pass went through the crease and out of the zone. Picked back up by the Russian Glukariov. Drops it for the Swede, Virgili. Glukariov looking for a pass at the back door. Skipped over the stick and into the far side. Kolatarsi hard off the blade of Milan's twig. Here comes Ryan Hunter as both teams are skating back at 5 apiece. Poked ahead for Milan by Papa Petros. Connor Lind will pick it up before it reaches the goal line, so no icing against Milan and the Rock Lobsters. Lind showing off that skating skill once again, going coast to coast, but his effort easily saved by Lavalier. Rock Lobsters can't make it a 4-goal game on the power play. 8.5. Is there still life here for the team from Columbus? Stay tuned here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network and find out.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
Rock Lobsters continue to lead here 4-1. There's been some opportunities for both teams, namely Orca Weisblatt on the power play that forced a tremendous save out of Trevor Babin. However, I feel like this game has lacked the same bite here in the third period that it had in the first and second. Maybe Weisblatt will change that on the play make here for Glukariov. Gets there first. Good play with the stick from Lind. Milan centering feed just misses Weisblatt. Glukariov. He's got in front of many Columbus passes tonight. Milan, great vision to the other side. Oja gets the pass from the Rock Lobster veteran. Slight update on Carter Shinkarik. We saw Chris McNeely return to the ice. Athletic trainer for the Rock Lobsters. However, the Rock Lobster captain did not come with him. Lind showing off the speed and the skates once again. That is one of the most tremendous goals I've seen. Just an absolute beauty from Lind. He's shown off the skating all night long, And now he shows off the stick handling to get himself in a great position and score on William Lavalier, who now is being checked on by Chris McNeely. Busy night for Chris, not in a way that we were hoping for. William Lavalier down to a knee. That was a beautiful solo goal there from Connor Lind. And you take a look at an effort like that and think to yourself, man, how did this guy only score 6 in the regular season? Chris McNeely still in discussion with William Lavalier, who's back up to his feet and draws some great applause here from the Akins Ford Arena faithful. Again, you have to give their plaudits when they're due. In this period from Columbus, despite them now being down 2 goals, we've seen perhaps one of the best saves I've seen this season from Trevor Babin, one of the best goals I've seen this season from Connor Lind. William Lavalier is tested after showing some discomfort after the goal from Lind. Good to see him playing out of his crease with some comfort. Johnson can't take the puck with him into the neutral ice. Balkwill, Underwood. Malik Johnson tried to reach out with a poke check on Underwood, ends up getting into the body of Balkwill. Johnson has to recollect his twig. 7 minutes of regulation here remain. 4-2 game. Rock Lobsters with a 4-2 lead. An unassisted goal from Connor Lind. He had been making those forays from the blue line position multiple times tonight. Great job by Greco to get the rebound away after the initial shot from Hatcher. Here's the rookie again, Hatcher, with a stiff arm here on Smith. Avoids the hip check from Robertson. Loses a handle. Smith gets it away from him. Glukarioff with a poke check in. To himself. Doing battle with Slahetka in the far corner. 5 bodies trying to get it out of there. It comes for the Rock Lobsters. Papa Petros with a step in front of the left circle. Gallant off the shin of Glukarioff. Tries to bank it off the back of Babin. Recollected by Plouffe. Glukarioff pokes it away off the Columbus rookie, but towards another in Hatcher. Glukarioff has kept the Columbus River Dragons pinned multiple times. Virgili just misses over the bar. Kolatarsi with a one-timer. Babin got a piece to it, shepherding it into the far side. Hunter out to the right for McDonald. McDonald easing it back over to Hunter. Those two and their chemistry have been something that the Rock Lobsters have had to keep their eye on, not only in this playoff series, but all season long. Weisblatt with a dump-in attempt. Good vertical there from Thornton to make a play with a glove. Lind, the goal scorer of the River Dragons, second. Up the right side, past McDonald. Thornton with the bend down, keeps it in with a glove. Got the puck free off of Kolatarsi. But it was Oja and the Rock Lobsters who got there to the biscuit first. Hard off the penalty box boards. Trevor Babin starting to ask the question at the Columbus bench on if they want him to go. Let's go Lobsters. The rallying cry here for Crustacean Nation. Head coach Steve Martinson told us this team can feel the energy from the fans, and the fans are trying to send it their way. Babin glances back over at the bench as Underwood shot saved by Lavalier and deflected out of play. We go to a commercial break here with 4 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the third period. Will the River Dragons empty the net of Babin here? Coming up soon. More Rock Lobster hockey coming up on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Farmburger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
Honey, the sink is overflowing!
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
Rock Lobsters have to put on a stone face here. 4-2 lead, but the most recent goal was scored courtesy of Columbus. The Rock Lobsters attempted comebacks in Wednesday night's game. However, the River Dragons were able to mitigate all of those attempts. Can the Rock Lobsters do so here? Can they get this man the hat trick? Great little move there from Stafora. Johnson with the follow-up save. Puck loose out in front. Stuffed back in by the rookie Stafora. Let's take another look at how the rookie scored his second goal of the Commissioner's Cup playoffs with the Crawford Laundry spin cycle. Clever little move from him. It's followed up on the rebound by Johnson with chaos in the crease. Stafora pushes it in past Babin, and that just might be the dagger that slays the Dragons in Game 2. The Rock Lobsters relentless on Babin tonight. Wasn't necessarily about the number of shots for Athens in this game. It was the quality of their opportunities. Andrew Stafora. With a goal to make it 5-2, but it seems like the body language of the officials are thinking about a review here. This could be a crucial point of this game if this goal doesn't count. 2-goal lead is one of the most dangerous in sports. Only thing I could think of what could be reviewable here would be potential goaltender interference with the presence of Stafora potentially in the crease. Goal has been given. .356 to go. The Rock Lobsters restore their 3-goal lead. The man from Boston potentially having put a stranglehold on this game and sending us to a Game 3, securing the spoils and making it all to play for, do or die, tomorrow night. Malik Johnson with the primary assist along with Smith as a secondary seems likely that Johnson will go down as the first star tonight. In the meantime, trying to shut me up are the River Dragons, with McDonald scoring to get them back within 2. Justin McDonald, a veteran of this league, who scored his 20th point in the Commissioner's Cup playoffs in his career on Wednesday night with a goal, has made the light at the end of the tunnel a little bit wider for the River Dragons. But hey, that's why you score 5. The River Dragons showing the Rock Lobsters that this one ain't over just yet. As a matter of fact, Thornton with a good takeaway on Malik Johnson. Papa Petro spins out of some pressure. Bank pass to Gallant. 2-on-1. Gallant tried to feed Johnson at the back door to try and complete his hat trick. However, it stopped in the slot. Johnson wins it back off of Hunter. Slams on the brakes. Pass toward Virgili doesn't go to plan, but Gallant is there. Trying to center a pass toward the slot, never reached Virgili. Loic Plouffe, toe drag shot, right circle. Trickles out into the end boards. Doherty tried the shot, rather the hit on Johnson. Babin once again awaiting the direction to leave his crease. Slehecka with a shot, saved by Lavalier. Ross ice pass. Plouffe collects. Babin to the bench. River Dragons playing with an empty net. Gallant trying to get it out of the zone, unable to do so. Hunter with a shot from the point. Misses wide. Virgili. That one slapped off the stick and into the netting. I've never seen a shot make its way into the netting from all the way in the defensive side of the ice. Oh, it looks like the River Dragons may have cemented their destiny of sending this series to a Game 3. Still a chance for them to score here, but now the Rock Lobsters will go on the power play. Hatcher sent into the box. Looks like he's getting sent back to the locker room. Don't think it was his penalty that will put him into the showers early. I think it might have been something he said against the officials. So we'll see how long the Rock Lobsters will be up a man. Meanwhile, Malik Johnson and Connor Lind in discussion with each other right on the red line. Still awaiting to see what the call is here against Nash Hatcher. Hatcher, a 2-time ACHA national champion with Adrian College. Someone's got to go to the box and serve that penalty. It's going to be Justin Somero. Looks like it's going to be a 5-minute penalty against Hatcher to be served by Somero. Oh, it looks like it's going to be a spear against Hatcher. Hatcher, who may have felt like he was speared at the end of the second period, potentially returning the favor to a Rock Lobster. Wonder if both instances will be something that's checked on by the disciplinary committee. We'll see if that's an adjudication that will come down quick enough to affect Game 3. Rock Lobsters with a 5-minute power play at the end of this game. Malik Johnson, part of the unit, just reached its way up to the netting to stop time here with just 7 minutes gone out of this man advantage. Malik Johnson hasn't been on the power play tonight, but he is on the unit now as he is on the search for goal number 3 on the night to complete his hat trick. Would be his first as a Rock Lobster. Milan breaks the stick on the faceoff. Grabs a new twig from Tommy McDonald. Bockwell with a dump in that Lavalier has to make a play on. Deflects it into the far side. Glukarioff to Milan. Johnson. No-look feed to Glukarioff. The Russian with some speed. Finds Johnson on the left side. 3-on-1 here for the Rock Lobsters. Malik shoots himself, misses over the bar. Four seconds away from the final minute of play here in game number 2 of this quarterfinal series between the two Peach State programs in the FPHL. Rock Lobsters with a tremendous effort tonight to bounce back after that 7-4 Game 1 loss in which they gave up the most goals they have all season long. But home has been a haven for them against the River Dragons this year. Here comes Lind again. He scored that beauty earlier on. Lind with a lot of speed, showing the stick handling once again. Babin once again going over to the bench. McDonald gets tied up there with the linesman. 40 seconds to go. Stafora takes it away. Stafora unable to get to the pass from Smith. Weisblatt fires it. Great grab there by Thornton. Wickline. Weisblatt forces a turnover once again at center ice. Stafora narrowly misses the dagger. Weisblatt to Smith, blocked by Wickline. McDonald, wrists one wide, falls to Hunter on the far side. The River Dragons fall short in game 2, and the Rock Lobsters take game 2 of this series to tie it up. And it will go to a crucial game 3 between these two teams. Just like it happened on Wednesday night, the hometown team is able to ride a 3-0 lead and use that momentum to securing the spoils on their home ice. 3 unanswered goals, starting with the first period power play notch from Daniil Glukarioff. Into the second, Malik Johnson scored his first of the night. Carter Shinkarik, less than a minute after that, with a tremendous snipe to the far shelf. However, everybody's minds will be on Carter Shinkarik as they hopefully will have him back tomorrow. Left this game due to injury, and unfortunately we haven't seen the Athens captain since. Columbus would get their first on the power play, making it a 3-1 game, but Malik Johnson was able to double his tally in both the game and the period to restore a 3-goal lead at 4-1. Then Connor Lind pulled the rabbit out of the hat, one of the most tremendous solo goals I've seen this season, as Lind pulled Columbus back to within 2. The dagger was courtesy of the rookie, Andrew Stafora, who scored his first professional playoff goal on Wednesday. You can make it number 2 tonight. Justin McDonald tried to make things interesting late on as he scored at even strength with 3.5 minutes to go. But the late spearing penalty from Nash Hatcher, who tried to get revenge but potentially at the wrong time, as there was still a chance for the River Dragons to get something out of this game. Instead, the penalty killed their momentum, and the Rock Lobsters go into game 3 tied at 1 apiece. Now all that is left is to await who will be the 3 stars of the night. goal and assist for the rookie out of Boston, Mass. Recently took a test to be a police officer. One day, he'll wear a star on his chest. But now he's the Rock Lobsters' third star of the night with a goal and assist. Carter Shinkarik, the second star of the night, however, not available to come on out to the ice and throw the shirt. First star of the game was on hat trick watch for nearly half of the contest. Johnson's second of the night goes down as the game winner. And he's the kind of guy that brings energy to this building all night long. Finds a good participant in the crowd to receive that special souvenir as he makes his way off the ice. It was crucial that the Rock Lobsters came into this game with a bounce-back mentality. They needed to erase their memory. They needed to have the memory of a goldfish to be able to come into their hometown building and get one back on Columbus after suffering a 7-4 defeat in the Columbus Civic Center on Wednesday night, the most goals they had given up this season. The Rock Lobsters were able to do exactly that. They came out with all the energy that was missing on Wednesday night. They showed that in the first period tonight, and they used that momentum by taking that 3-0 lead and were able to hold on to that lead for the rest of the night. Rock Lobsters with a crucial win to send this series to a Game 3. It is one that you are not going to want to miss. The Rock Lobsters have secured playoff hockey here. They win their first playoff game tonight at home, and now they're trying to win their first playoff hockey series, and they need your help to try and do so. If you have not already, go ahead and try and secure your tickets for tomorrow night's Game 3 between the Rock Lobsters and the Columbus River Dragons. Rock Lobsters and the Columbus River Dragons, it's been a hot rivalry all season long. They've shown that once again here in the playoffs. It's going to be a night of tremendous energy between these two teams, and hopefully you can help supply it in the crowd. So take your phone out, scan the QR code on your screen to secure your tickets for a crucial Game 3 between the Columbus River Dragons and the Athens Rock Lobsters. Let's take a quick look at some of the score lines around the FPHL. How about this? The Port Huron Prowlers with a 6-2 lead right now against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Looks like it's just been cut to 6-3. Elsewhere, the Watertown Wolves making it interesting late on in Binghamton. Rather, against Binghamton, they're at home. Right now, that game is 3-2. Looks like the Carolina Thunderbirds are able to take care of business in Wytheville as they currently lead 5-2 against their biggest rivals. Thank you to all of you who tuned in tonight for a fun opening to playoff hockey here at the Tank. I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else, and we hope to see you here once again tomorrow night. Puck drops at 7:05, and if you can't join us here in the Tank, you know where to find us, right here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Rock Lobsters take Game 2 of this Commissioner's Cup semifinal series with the Columbus River Dragons, and they take it 5-2